Hey guys, it's Jessica, and today I've got a haul update for you. So this was a haul I did back in early September, and it was all a drugstore haul, and I did it live. So what that means is, and I do these from time to time, is that I took you around. I was just on my phone vlogging, and I took you around through the aisles. This time it was at Target, and I showed what I was getting. I even showed some products that I had tried before in the past that I just felt like mentioning and showing you guys as possible recommendations, or even products that I didn't like. So if you want to see the original haul, I will link that below. This is a style of video where I get to finally tell you really my thoughts on these products that I bought over a month ago. I've been trying for 5 to 6 weeks. So I feel like I've got a decent idea of how they work, if I would recommend them, if not, things like that. So if you like this style of video, definitely give it a thumbs up, and I hope you'll subscribe. Let's go ahead and get into it. All right, let's start with something that I ended up hating so much. It was the Pixi Nourishing Cleansing Balm. I was hoping this would be like the Pixi Double Cleanse that they sell, where it's the same shape, but it's split in half. Half of it is a cleansing balm to take off makeup, and the other half is a cleanser for your face. And I loved that cleansing balm so much, I'd hoped they made a whole thing of it. Well, I thought this might be similar. No. First of all, it has this horrible smell. It smells like soap, but like, gosh, what is it? Sweet almond oil and cocoa butter. See, to me, it doesn't smell anything like either one of those things because I like both of those things. Anyway, I don't like the smell. I had been hoping this would be the kind that you put all over and it kind of melts your makeup away, and then you rinse it with water so you can go straight in with a cleanser. That's how I roll. Like, that is what I'm used to. My skin reacts well to that, so I'm like, don't fix it if it's not broken. Well, this is the kind that you have to wipe away. And I don't have a problem with the kind that, you get it in your hand, you put it all over your face, it melts your makeup away the same. But if you were to mix it with water, because say the first time you tried it, you didn't know, you cannot get it off. Like, it's like comical. So it took me, I finally got all of it off. And then I read it and realized, oh, you're supposed to wipe it away with a damp cloth, you idiot, Jessica. Now, I don't like wiping my face any more than I have to. It's the reason I don't use makeup wipes for my face. It's the same reason I don't want to use this with a damp cloth, because I don't want to pull on my skin more than I need to. I'm going on 30 here in a year and a half-ish, not even, oh my gosh. But does that make sense? So if you're into that kind of cleansing, then you might like this, because it definitely removed the makeup. But for me, it's just not my cup of tea, and the smell really got to me too. So I used it like twice, and I was like, I'm done, I can't do it. So I'm gonna pass this on to a sister that might like it. All right, next thing that I really did like was the Revlon Youth Effects Fill and Blur Primer. It says for face and neck, which I thought was interesting. But basically, it has this really cool like packaging for a primer, and you press the bottom and it pushes up through the top. The formula of this reminds me a lot of the new Too Faced Peach Blur, not Peach Blur, the new Too Faced Peach Primer. It has the same color, a similar consistency. The only thing is this kind of pilled up really like weirdly, and so I did have to leave time. Like, once I got it blended into my skin, I did have to give it like a minute for it to like stay in place before I put foundation or anything on top of it. So if you're ever in a rush, like, I could never reach for this when I was in a rush. So I did think that was a little odd, and it made me kind of take pause. So while I liked it, and I do feel like it held on to the foundation really well, it's certainly not my favorite primer from the drugstore. I would prefer the NYX Hydro Touch or the Maybelline Master Prime Blur and Illuminate. I think these are both really good primers. Whereas this was good, but it did have those few drawbacks, so it made me think, is it worth like $10 or maybe not? Next up was this product that became my favorite. I don't remember if when I did this haul, if I already knew I loved it and I was just buying it again. That could be, but I love this mascara. I won't talk it to death today, but it's the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise. Best mascara I've ever used. I've been out of it, and I need to buy another one, because I swear to you, it dries out in 1 month. You have to buy it every single month. But it is so amazing from the moment you open it that I'm like, I don't care. I'm willing to pay, finding this on sale. Like, what I should do is the next time it's on sale, buy like 3 or 4, because it is incomparable to me to other stuff. I know a lot of you guys have asked, do I use the waterproof? I do not use the waterproof. I just use the regular, and I love it so much. Oh my gosh. I bought quite a few concealers this trip. One that I loved out of all of these, it's my favorite, it's really messy already, but it's the Revlon Youth Effects Fill and Blur Concealer. I've used this so much. So it's from that same line, and you push the bottom up and it comes up into the sponge, and it is just the creamiest, prettiest concealer I've used in a very long time, especially from the drugstore. It's got a thinner consistency and yet it's really creamy. I have it in the shade Fair, and it just blends in so quickly and it looks so pretty and brightening. I do think this is geared towards older skin with the idea of youth effects, because I feel like it doesn't sink in the fine lines too much. It does sink in a little bit like every concealer does, but I feel like it does kind of bring this youthful glow to that area. I don't know that it has like the highest coverage in the world when it comes to dark circles, but it does kind of brighten, and I really like that. So I've enjoyed using this. Clearly it is a mess because I've used it a lot, so I do recommend this one. A concealer I felt kind of meh about was the Pixi Pat Away Concealing Base. I have it in the shade Cream. It's very reminiscent of the Tarte Shape Tape, a really large doe foot applicator. This is a lot thinner than the Tarte Shape Tape. I don't think this is bad by any means, but it's definitely not the same as the Tarte Shape Tape. I actually am wearing the Tarte one today, and that's not my favorite concealer either. I know a lot of people love it. It really isn't. I think honestly that I'd prefer the Revlon one over the Tarte one. But regardless, it was still a nice concealer. It's just really thin, and I didn't feel like it did a ton of brightening, nor did it really cover. So it was just kind of like, okay. Does that make sense? So I feel like because Pixi is a little bit pricey in the drugstore, that it might not be worth your money. You'd be better off buying one like the Revlon one or something else, but it's just okay. I don't know. It's just okay. If I ran out, would I buy it again? No. This was a weird one. I did a whole video on this one. This was the Maybelline Master Camo, and it's the Apricot Corrector. So you twist up the bottom and it has this kind of interesting top. And what you do, and what I did in the video, if you want to see me demoing it, I'll link the video. But it's meant to conceal purple dark circles on your under eye. So I would just apply it in my darkest spots, let it dry, you know, kind of blend it in, but not blend it in so much that you can't see it anymore. Then I would take a really good high coverage concealer and put it on top of it and blend that in, and it was so beautiful. I think a lot more flawless than if I didn't use this. The reality is there are products out there that kind of do both, and I end up leaning towards those because this is a two-step process. You can't only use this unless you're much, much darker skin tone. So like the Bobbi Brown Corrector in Light Bisque is a very salmon-y concealer, and it does both. It cancels out the dark circles and conceals, so you don't have to do two steps. And I feel like if you're older, if you have fine lines, wrinkles, things like that, or just general crepiness under your under eye, you don't, the less layers, the better, because the more you put in that area, the more, you know, maybe crepey it's gonna look, the more cakey, and just, you're just gonna look older. So I appreciate products where it's kind of a two-in-one. So with that in mind, I also picked up the NYX Dark Circle Corrector because I thought, oh, it'll be like that Bobbi Brown one. I got it in the shade Fair. No, this stuff, it's seemingly pretty good, except for it's really like, I don't know, like you can get it on your finger and you're like, oh, it's creamy. But once you start blending it on, it's just not nearly as creamy as I'd wanted it to be. And I was really spoiled with this Bobbi Brown one, but also this Pixi one in the shade Brightening Peach. This one is very, very creamy and even more high coverage. And so I think if you're trying to get one at the drugstore, I would go for the Pixi one over the NYX one, even though the NYX one is a little bit cheaper. But I was underwhelmed. It made my under eye look really dry, really old, like way older than I was. And I was like, that's not the look I'm going for. So for that reason, I can't put my stamp of approval on it. The next product I bought was from Soap & Glory, which is newly being sold at Target. And it's their Hocus Focus Instant Visual Flaw Softening Illuminator. I saw that name and I was like, what? What now? Hocus Pocus? So the way I've been using this, it says use Hocus Focus alone as a cheekbone highlight or blend it into your foundation. I've even worn this all over, just like almost as a primer, not because I thought it would hold on to foundation, but because I thought it would add a nice glow to my skin underneath like a matte foundation. It's a very subtle, if you do it as a highlight, it's very subtle. This is more like a glow lotion. In my opinion, it's not necessarily a liquid highlighter. So if you're buying it because you want a liquid highlight that's like really obvious, like a Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector, this is not what you want. You want it to be more like MAC Strobe Cream or just any kind of a glow lotion. I think you would really, really like it. I think the packaging is cool, goes up to a squeezy tube. There's plenty of product in there for what you're gonna use it for. And the only thing I haven't done, I haven't tried mixing it with foundation, but I really do like the way it looks underneath foundation. So I would have to assume mixing it would be nice. However, it is gonna make it a little bit more liquidy because this is a very liquid product. It's not like a thick cream or anything like that. So I like it. Are there a million products like this out there? Yes. e.l.f. makes a glow lotion that's really good as well. That's probably cheaper, but it still was really, really nice. And it's not that much more expensive. So the next product was a shampoo and conditioner that I bought. I'm about halfway done with it, if you can't see. It's the Herbal Essences Volume Arabica Coffee Fruit Shampoo and then the conditioner. I bought it because of the smell, purely because of the smell. This might be the best smelling shampoo and conditioner I've ever smelled in my entire life. However, it completely dries my hair out, completely. I mean, like to the point where my hair like feels like ratty right after I've washed and conditioned it. It feels like gross and dry and ratty. I don't know. It's one of those things that I've been testing out shampoo and conditioner for a long time, and I haven't felt this way about a shampoo and conditioner in years. So very, very drying. A lot of the OGX brand shampoos and conditioners do the same thing where they smell amazing, but they completely dry my hair out. So something to keep in mind, if you found a really good shampoo and conditioner that smells amazing and it's really good for your hair, please let me know because I'm on the hunt to find the perfect thing. I've tried the Way stuff and I thought it was nice. My hair definitely liked it, but I didn't really, I know a lot of you guys like the smell. I didn't really like the smell that much. Anyway, if you've never smelled these though, go to a store and smell it because it's just like, oh my gosh. And so every time I'm washing my hair, I love it. But then the aftermath is like, it's not really worth the amazing smell because it does not look cute. So, you win some, you lose some. So that was my update. The only thing that I didn't have that I actually hauled in that video, as far as I remember, was the Revlon Youth Effects like foundation or BB cream, whatever it was. The shade I got was not the right shade. And so when I went back to return it, there was like no other shade that made any sense for me. So I was like, you know what? Let's just chalk this up at a loss because I don't want to buy two and mix them because I kind of tried it. I swatched it. I tried a little bit on my face and I just, the formula was definitely, it had some decent coverage is what I remembered, but it just wasn't my cup of tea. I felt like it was a little bit too much for my skin. I wish I could say more about it, but I really couldn't try it much more and I planned to buy another shade and then, you know, I didn't want to waste the money if it wasn't a shade that I was even going to be able to wear. So that's my 2 cents on that. So if you have tried the Revlon Youth Effects foundation stuff, definitely let us know below in case someone else is interested in trying it and maybe they're curious about how it works beyond what I remember. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed and that you'll give it a thumbs up and I hope you'll subscribe as well and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.